Welcome back to Unleashed, Unfiltered, and Unapologetically Human with me, your host, Julie. On today's episode, we're just going to be talking a little bit of high thoughts, a little bit of what's been going on. I recently quit veterinary emergency and where I'm at with my life, as well as just talking about some random stuff that I have found that has been really popular lately and kind of what my thoughts are on that. So, first off, let's start. I am officially out of veterinary emergency. I have been working in this field for almost 8, 9 years, and like 4 of those years have been in emergency. I have loved being in the emergency field for such a long time. I've gotten to learn many things. I eventually have become a technician and then went back to veterinary assisting because I moved states in which, with this state, you have to have a license in order to do anything tech related, which is unfortunate, but I am actually a lot happier. I'm not as stressed because I honestly feel so much appreciation from where I work now. I work at a only cats kind of shelter. It is it has its pros and cons, but I am a lot less stressed. I have a better work environment, as well as the fact that I get off at like 3 o'clock, sometimes two, and I have the whole day, which is great because then I can focus on my schoolwork. I can focus on doing things for my family, as well as planning some stuff, and so it's a lot better. I I unfortunately left the vet emergency field only because of the fact that I felt very disrespected by my old job. The manager laughed in my face when I told him about the fact that I didn't feel appreciated, especially working overnights. I worked overnights on the weekend, and that's really hard, especially because of the fact that a lot of emergency places close at a certain time. So, and usually they're not open on the weekends. So everyone's coming on the weekends, especially at night. And so we saw a lot of cases. And to be to not be appreciated by your management, and then for you to express that to them and for them to laugh in your face because of the fact that they heard that from somebody else, which again is not an excuse, because like, okay, you heard that from somebody else as well, so why are you laughing about it? Like, it's very disrespectful, and that just shows that you don't give a shit about the people that are working for you. And so after that, that was kind of like a breaker for me because, one, I work my ass off in everything I do. I try my best um to make sure that my patients, whatever my patients, the owner, that they have a good experience. And even if it's like they're coming in and their dog is very stressed out, it has a broken, whatever the case is, I want to make sure that that owner is able to leave with their baby. Sometimes that can't happen because, sometimes the animal is very sick or whatever the case is, but making sure that they have a good experience so that they don't have such a negative view on the veterinary field, because there, of course, there's always a bad apple in each field, and unfortunately that clouds people's judgment for many, many years. Like, for example, my partner, she had a very bad experience with her dog years ago, and unfortunately it created a basically a view of the vet field as very negative. And once she met me, and I showed her all the things that I do and all of this, like, it is a different view now. She's able to see things differently than what she experienced as her animal unfortunately was dying. And I I work really hard to make sure that I take care of my patients how, I would want somebody to take care of my own animals. And, you can do so much, but when you have a management that doesn't really care and only cares about certain people, ass kissing, and I'm going to tell you right now that there are so many freaking people that love to like just kiss ass on management, and unfortunately management like loves that shit. There are some management, I'm not saying all, okay, and for those people to literally work half as much for them to like, there's little things that like they'll post, whatever the case is, and that is what gets the attention. While there are people that, for example, work overnights, that work so fucking hard, that don't take pictures all the time to be like, hey, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this. Like, we do these things, we work hard for our patients. And to have managers that don't give a shit, that will laugh in your face when you tell them that you don't feel appreciated, like, that hurt so much because I put so much of my soul into my job. I love animals. I've loved animals since I was a young kid, and it really ruins it. And I already have depression, anxiety, PTSD. I have a lot of mental health issues, and I work on it every day. I try my best, but animals are a very soft spot to me because they animals have gotten me through a lot of things in my past, and what I continue to kind of go through. And so I am very happy to announce I am officially out of the emergency field. I It is a big, it's I have a little bit of sadness, but I also have a lot of grateful memories for all of the technicians that have helped me become the person I am, being able to be so knowledgeable. And I look back from like 8 years ago when I was such a baby vet assistant, and I didn't know anything, and you know, I I'm grateful for all the memories, and I am grateful for everyone that has helped me. And I am so ready for this new beginning. I am now working just with cats. I'm still in the vet field, just not as emergency anymore. It's more of a slower pace, but as well as I get to care more for the patients that I have. I work with them basically every single day now. So that's I guess you could say the bad side or the negative side of what I do now for work is because I work with these older cats. And so now I get a little attached. So, when they end up passing away or we have to euthanize, I do have my little emotions, but it's only because I care for them almost every single day. And, it's almost like I'm caring for my own animals. And so when one passes, it's really sad. And I'm a little sad for a few days. But it is a lot less stressful. I am able to really focus on me, focus on who I am as a person, what I want to do with my life, trips and stuff like that. I am planning something for the in the next 21 days, which I'm so excited for. It's almost here. I'm planning with my partner, and we have a whole thing coming up, and it's gonna be so exciting. If you follow me on Instagram, TikTok, you will most likely find those photos, but that will be probably not until like beginning of November ish. We'll see. So, but anyways, so that is one big thing that has changed. And next thing I want to kind of talk about is just taking care of yourself. I I honestly neglected myself for a very long time, only because growing up, I always felt like I had to put everyone first. I had to take care of everyone else, emotionally. And you growing up like that, it just that's just your habit. Like you want everyone else to feel better because you're hoping that one day that that person's going to hopefully be there for you as you have. And unfortunately, you can't do that. You can't help people with an empty cup, as they like to say. And so I have honestly, I've been healing in different ways. Like I'm more in tune with my body in a way that like when something upsets me, I'm able to actually like talk about it. It might take me a little bit only because I'm just like very embarrassed of whatever's going on and, with my emotions. I really have really high emotions only because I went so long with trying to avoid them and trying to avoid dealing with them or just having very bad reactions. And so I've been really working hard with my partner and, being able to communicate those things. And I've honestly learned so much about myself. I've learned a lot about my different triggers that I have that I never actually thought I had. It wasn't until I've actually, with the person that I'm with now, there, let me look back. So there's like this video that I saw that honestly I almost cried because it was basically saying when you get into a relationship that is healthy or that it's something that it's a lot healthier than your other relationships, you end up looking at a mirror. And what they mean by that is that when you're in this relationship, both of you are trying. You're trying to be better for each other. You're trying to not be as toxic or trying to get through the toxic habits that you've made because of your past relationships. And I when I looked at those when I looked at that video, I didn't realize it, but it's very true. The partner that I'm with, I have had to look in the mirror in a way that she reminded me a lot of me when I was in my past relationships actually. I and I didn't even realize it until like later down the road as I've, become more in tune with myself of how much I've had to look at myself and be like, "Damn, like Julie, you could have done a lot better for yourself. You could have stood up for yourself. You could have done all these things." And as the months have gone by with me and her, I've learned a lot in a way that I'm not that little kid anymore. It's okay for me to stand up for myself because I'm an adult now. I'm not depending on anyone else. I'm not depending on my parents. I'm not depending on whoever it is. Like, they are not my lifeline anymore. Like, I have my own lifeline. I can take care of myself. I have this person that wants to love me no matter what and pushes me to become a better person as well as just push us. We both push each other to be better. And so I look at past pictures and past videos of me and I was a very sad person. I've gone through so much. I'm not even joking. And for someone as young as me, I'm 24. I'll be 25 in a few months. But you would have there's a lot of people that I meet end up very surprised of my age because of how mature I am, but I've been pushed to become mature on in an early age. So when I tell them, I always get the same thing. You are not. You are so young. And a part of me sometimes is like, I don't feel like it. I feel like I should be in my 40s with all the shit that I've already gone through. And so for a little bit, it was actually a trigger when people would be like, "Oh, you're so young, like, you'll be fine." And I'm like, it's not what I really wanted to hear, but okay. Like, I can be young, but I've gone through so much, and as well as the emotional toll of my career, of my family, of just everything in general. Like, it's made me who I am today, but as well, it's affected me so much to where it's weird, but I'm like embarrassed to be like, yeah, I'm 24. And it's weird to say that, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people would be like, what do you mean, like, you're really young? Like, my soul does not feel young. My soul feels like it's in its 40s or at least 50s. Like, I it sucks. And sometimes my body acts like it's in its 40s. Shit, like, my back hurts, my hips hurt. Like, you when you're in the veterinary field, it ages you every single day. Every year, you're like adding 5 years to yourself. Like, my back hurts, my lower back super hurts. Like, if I'm even on my feet for maybe 8 hours and not like sitting down, like, ooh, if I lay down, that's it for me. I'm not getting back up. So I back to what I was basically. Got a little sidetracked, but it's fine. I I have literally had to face the mirror, and I've become better because of her. She has made me smile more than anyone I've ever met has. And it's not for what she can give me. It's not what, like, that's not at all. Like, just her presence, just her goofiness. She has helped me so much in healing this little hurt girl that has been in so much pain for so long, and I can finally laugh. I can be myself with her. Her goofy side has come out even more. We've learned about so much about each other within the last year, and as well as the fact that healing our very toxic ways from our past relationships. And I'm so very proud of her, only because, like, she was in such a toxic relationship with a narcissist, and it's very disheartening of stuff that I've heard that has happened, like, even before we were together. Like, it's crazy how all the things that she went through, and I'm very proud of her and how she has managed to heal, as well as her being able to change from those toxic ways that she had to endure for so long. And I'm very proud of her. And it can be hard. And it's very, like, I'm going to tell you this, that it has been a very difficult journey. It's like both of us both trying to fight for each other, as well as remembering that, it's us against a problem, not, you know, both of each other at each other, if that makes sense. I don't think that ever made sense. Basically, it's us against the problem, not us against each other. And, sometimes we do have to remind each other, but if in all of the chaos, all of the bullshit, all of just the nonstop lies and everything like that, like, we have stood our ground and we've been able to be each other's rock within the past year, almost freaking year and a half, dude. Oh my God. And I've never loved somebody as much as I love this woman, she makes me smile every day. As much as, sometimes we get irritated with each other or whatever the case. Like, it's two women, it's gonna happen. I am very appreciative of her and her sticking by me, with me finally being able to face my PTSD and being able to work through it. And, it is still something that I'm still going through and I'm still, getting through. But she has stood by my side through every panic attack, every up and down that I've ever had. And I can't thank her enough. Our characters have changed. It's crazy. And I think about when we first met each other and just how we are now. Like, it's completely different. And I can't imagine myself with anyone else. She has healed so much that she didn't cause. And, when you get into a relationship, like, especially when you have a lot of trauma, it's so hard to not fall back to those very toxic ways. But if you really love somebody, it's it's something that you both have to go through in a way that you have to realize, like, is this the person that, it's worth changing for this person? It's worth, you know realizing and figuring out yourself of, like, what, I'm very toxic, or, what I'm doing is not okay. I love this person and I don't want to hurt her. Or, it takes being able to put yourself aside, especially with someone that you really love and someone that you really want to be with, and to be able to be like, what, I need to change, because if I don't, I'm going to lose this person. And what is really funny about our relationship is that, so I've always been the type that would go after, or I would be the chaser, I guess you could say. And in that, I've deep down never really talked about it, but I've always been the type that, like, I always wanted somebody to, chase me. I'm just like, I wish someone would just want me just as much as I want them. And so a lot of bullshit happened and I ended up leaving. And it was with our past relationship that we had. It was not okay. But I left, and I was trying to go about my business, and trying to work, trying to figure out my life and stuff. And what's funny enough is she actually chased me down, and she really thought I did not want to be with her anymore, that I didn't want to be with her. And mind you, she was being told a bunch of lies by a fucking asshole. And it wasn't until she messaged me one day, and mostly because she wanted clarification about lies that were being told about me. And I talked to her about it, and I told her that, I'm like, I still love you. I never stopped loving you. And she was very surprised because she's like, are you sure? And I'm like, yeah, I still love you. I never stopped loving you. It's just the other person was horrible. And I ain't gonna lie, the shit that has been put out about me and about, just everything that I've apparently done is fucking hilarious. Like, I laugh so much. because I'm like, what the actual fuck? Because within the past year and a half, like, bunch of shit has been told about me. Apparently, I said this, that, everything, and all this. Or, you know, mind you, I've been quiet about a lot of shit that's happened in the past, only because, like, one, this person, the more I give their attention, the more, like, bullshit happens. But, anyways, through all this bullshit, I I told her that I was still in love with her, and for some reason she was still in love with me, which was crazy because I was like, "Are you sure?" Because like I'm a little damaged, I'm a little fucked up from just people in general, and she was like, "No, I'm in love with you," and that took me by surprise. I ain't gonna lie, and I kind of cried for a few days because I was just like, I don't know how to handle this in the way that I don't know how to handle it because of the fact that I've always felt like no one ever chose me. It was always somebody else. And I've never been like a fighter in a way that, like, I guess you could say it's because of my ego, of where I will not, if somebody says that they don't want to be with me, I'm gonna be like, cool, then I'm out. Like, I'm not just gonna sit here and continue. Like, I'm not gonna beg you. Like, that's something that I will not do. Only because I'm like, I've begged for other people to stay in my life and it ended up really badly. And so I just I don't beg people. If you're going to leave, you're going to leave. I'm not going to be like, "Oh, why don't you come back?" And that goes for anybody in my life. I got to tell you that. That goes for anybody in my life. If you want to walk out on me, cool. That is your choice. I am not going to beg you to stay because fuck that. Like, if you want to go, you want to go. I ain't gonna stop you. I will open the door for you, bitch. Anyways, so, through all that, she chased me, she messaged me, and of course, like, I told her straight up, I'm like, I'm still in love with you, and that never stopped. And yeah, and here we are. We've had our ups and downs, but we are doing amazing. We have 21 days till our ceremony, and I'm so excited for the love of my life. And honestly, this podcast has kind of gone different places. I don't know where I actually started, so I'm sorry. But I'm very excited for my future with this beautiful woman. And honestly, make sure you take care of yourself. That's where I was going with this. My bad. It is very important to make sure that you are taking care of yourself in a way that just because you're in a relationship, just because of whatever the case is, like, don't forget that you know you have yourself, and you need to make sure that you take care of yourself even when you're in a relationship, because if you can't take care of yourself, how are you able to take care of the other person you know and I am very grateful for my partner, and as goofy as she is, as crazy as she makes me sometimes, I couldn't ask for a better partner, and she has made me an even better person, and I am very grateful for her. And honestly, I'm very grateful for everything that we've done. We've accomplished so much. So much. And I'm so excited for our future. And honestly, I'm kind of curious of where this podcast is going to go. I initially was making this podcast because I wanted to teach people about the veterinary field, the good, the bad, ugly, the huge. But it kind of turned into just like almost like a journal podcast of just things of what's going on with my life, as well as just what bullshit's happening in the world and kind of what my opinions are. Remember, these are just opinions of myself. They are not all factual. Sometimes I get shit mixed up. Usually not that much, but um I will warn you sometimes. I'll be like, "Oh, I remember that story." I don't know who said it though. So I don't try to take credit from anybody, but I just want all those people to just remember you need to take care of yourself no matter if you're in a relationship or not. And honestly, it is really terrifying to be in a relationship, and especially if you have a lot of PTSD from others. But I am so grateful for the person that I am with. I am grateful for our journey that we've had. I'm grateful for where we've gone, and honestly, being grateful for just where I'm at right now. It has been a fucking road, and I couldn't do it without all my support from my aunt, my beautiful partner, you know, some friends that I've had. I'm also very grateful for the people that are not in my life anymore, because honestly, if it wasn't for you giving me so much trauma and anxiety as well as paranoia, I would not be here now being the person I am today, where I'm just like a little bit of fuck you, don't give a shit, this is my life and I'm gonna live it. And that is the most important thing that I wanted to kind of talk about, is like, fuck everyone. You're gonna have haters no matter what. Like, holy shit. I can literally just be sitting at home and people will talk their shit. And that's okay. Because that just shows that you don't love yourself. And that's alright. It's loving yourself, it's a path that takes a lot, as well as the fact that it takes a lot of work. But going down this path, I've learned that, you keep those friends, those family that support you close, and your enemies far, far away. I am very happy to be where I'm at right now. I have lost friends, I have lost family on the way, but I have learned who I am as a person. I've learned that, I can do shit by myself, and people are going to talk, people are going to be negative, they're going to give you little negative remarks, whatever the case is, but again, they're not living your life. And so who gives a shit? They're not paying your bills. And if they are, fuck them anyways. I'm just kidding. No, but live your own life. Don't let anybody tell you what you can and can't do, because 100% I am that type of person. I'm a fucking Aquarius. And so if you tell me I can't do something, bitch, I will show you and I will take pictures while I do it. So, do you, no matter what people say. People are always going to have a comment. But this is your one life. I don't know. You may not believe that. You may believe that. I don't know what you believe in, whatever. But for me, this is just my one life, and I'm going to make it how I want it. So if that's being with this wonderful woman, then that's it. And I fought really hard mentally because of stupid people and caring too much about how they felt. And in doing that, it really affected me mentally even worse. But I no longer give a shit. So I'm grateful for my beautiful wife, and I am going to be living life, and I am so excited because within the next year or two, we're definitely going to be traveling more and going on different adventures, which I am so excited. And hopefully meeting new friends, meeting new people, and just living the dream with our two dogs and our other animals. So, honestly, this podcast was a little random. I don't know where I was taking it, but just to make sure that you guys kind of have the points. One, the vet field is very toxic, so be careful on what you choose to decide on your career. If you love animals, great. Do it for the animals. But just remember there's some good and bad and everything. Second, fuck those managers that don't give a shit about you. You're an amazing person. You're an amazing technician, assistant, receptionist, whatever the case, whatever your role is, you are amazing. You're trying your best. You do you. Don't let them bring you down. Third, again, I have to put a shout out to my wonderful, beautiful wife and let her know that I am so thankful for you. And I don't think I could be here without you helping me through all the good and bad, being very supportive and always hyping me up when I feel like I am not worth it. So thank you so much. And I'm so excited for our day. And I love you. Te amo con todo mi corazón. All right, guys. Thank you for this episode and thank you for listening. Again, being unleashed, unfiltered, and unapologetically human. Till next time, bye.